Hey y'all, today we got the entire history of money.
You're probably using money right now. I mean, not right now, unless you're paying rent to watch this video on the toilet and or in bed, which if you are, we need to talk. But money is everywhere. You work for it, you save it, you stress over it, you might cry over it, or even break up over it. At least, I did. But what if I told you the thing literally controlling your entire life is actually completely made up? Yeah,
Money is very powerful
kind of
though.
fake. But to understand how we got here, credit cards, crypto scams, whatever the heck MILF coin is, we gotta go way back. No, not to 1929.
Okay.
I mean, so far back, we get to prehistoric goat trading caveman times. Back then, there was no money. No coins, no bills, no Venmo, just people trading things.
Yeah,
This
trading
was called
items,
bartering.
trading land,
You'd say,
trading
"Hey,
animals."
I got 2 chickens. Can I get a basket of apples?
Yep.
And the other person would say deal, or nah, I hate the chickens. And you definitely don't deserve apples. But what's the problem with this? Well, you needed to find someone who both had what you wanted and wanted what you had, which is called a double coincidence of wants, and it kinda sucked. So instead of trading things, people started using objects that represented value. In China, people used cowrie shells because they were rare and shiny. In Mesopotamia, people traded barley and silver rings. In Rome, salt was so valuable that soldiers were literally paid in.
Dude, imagine like you go to work and they just give you a cup of salt. Like these days, that is so like you ain't gonna do nothing with it. You know what I'm saying? Like, yes, we use salt, but like you get paid in salt. That would be amazing. Like, imagine we can just live in our own house, don't gotta pay property taxes, so to where if we really bought a house, it's really ours, and we don't gotta keep on making extra payments, and we just got paid in salt. Like, that's crazy.
That's where we get the word salary. I'm not even kidding. The direct translation means salt allowance. Technically, this
Wow.
wasn't money the way we think of it.
Salt
but
allowance.
It worked because everyone agreed that these things were valuable. It was like a social contract, but things started to rapidly accelerate. Fast forward to around 600 BCE in a kingdom called Lydia. King Alyattes had a brilliant idea. Let's melt down precious metals, stamp my face on them, and make people trade them. Boom! The first coins.
Yo,
And
look
they
at
were made
that.
From electrum, a natural mix of gold and silver. But these coins had several big advantages. They were durable. They had standardized weights, so you knew exactly what they were worth. And most importantly, the stamp
Really?
on the coin
It was worth
acted like
off
a
the weight?
government certificate guarantee of value. The Greeks then stole this idea. Every city-state had its own currency, and the Athenian drachma was basically the dollar of the ancient Mediterranean. Then the Romans came in and said, hold my line. They created a complex monetary system. Gold aureus for big deals, silver denarius for everyday stuff, and bronze coins for the smaller things.
Y'all ever just realize, like, when y'all have change, because like me personally, I don't like to deal with cash because that means I have to deal with change. So I just like try to avoid it all the way, but I still have like a piggy bank of change. You know what I'm saying? Like, but do y'all realize that the coins that y'all have, some of them can be worth something crazy because they probably were made way back? You know what I'm saying? All them people that be doing like coin collections, and they be having like those binders with like little coin slots, and they be like saving those things. Them things is worth a lot of money because people really, you know what I'm saying? People really will give you $1 for a quarter. You know what I'm saying? Things like that. Like,
This helped them build
But
a massive empire.
price will rack
But
up.
then they
The
got
price will
greedy.
compound.
Starting debasement to save on resources, they slowly started reducing the silver, gold, and bronze in the coins, where people noticed and got pissed. Then inflation happened.
now we just got
Sound
bronze
familiar?
and silver.
Meanwhile, in China, during the Song
And paper.
Dynasty, they thought carrying coins around was annoying, heavy, loud, and robbery
Yes,
magnets.
very
So they
annoying.
came up with something genius. What if we leave our coins with the government and carry a paper that says how much we deposited? Boom.
That's kind of smart though, because you know what I'm saying? Now these days we got cards. You know what I'm saying? And what are you gonna do? Take the card. Unless it's a credit card, then you're cooked. Ooh, actually no. I won't say the secret about debit cards because those who are younger who may be seeing this don't need to know that yet until they have their own, and then they'll realize, yeah.
First official paper money. These
Yeah.
notes were backed by the government treasuries, which were redeemable for metal coins. Basically, the paper was
If
an
you're old enough and you know,
IOU,
you know
pretty much saying,
about
yes,
debit
this piece of
cards
paper is worth something,
credit
trust me
cards.
bro, I got you. But
Usage.
Europe didn't catch on until way later, but when they did, they changed everything. Banks started issuing promissory notes. You deposit the gold, get a note, and trade the note like it was money. Eventually, people stopped redeeming gold altogether, and the notes became the money. But in reality, it was just paper with fancy signatures. By the 1800s, the world was getting really tired of all of these different made-up currencies and unstable banknotes. And then someone had the idea of the gold standard. Every single dollar, pound...
The time of checks, like I know people still use checks to this day. Like my auntie, or my mom's auntie, so my second auntie, she, on every time I have a birthday, she sends me a check of... Actually, no. She would send me checks for like big events, but on my birthday, she would also send me my age, the amount of money, if that makes sense. Like I turned 18, she sent me 18 bucks. But she would send like checks as well sometimes for like my graduation, you know what I'm saying? Things like that. That's the only time I ever deal with checks. You know what I'm saying? Like imagine back in her time, that's what they mainly had was checks. Like that's crazy to think. Like you would have to have your checkbook, you know what I'm saying? I bet most of y'all probably don't even know what a checkbook is. I remember when I was a kid, I would always, like if I'm just looking around the house or something or just doing whatever I was doing, I would see like my mom's little purple, small little checkbook, you know what I'm saying? Just being there. I would always like, just wonder like, what is this for? You know what I'm saying? It's crazy.
Franc, or any currency you could possibly think of could now be traded for a specific amount of gold, like the actual shiny pirate treasure kind of gold. No longer was money fake. It was kind of like it went, hey look, I'm real now. I'm actually backed by something that looks cool and is shiny. And this worked great for international trade. Countries trusted each other's money now more than ever because they all knew that it could be swapped for gold. Okay, so you've got countries trading gold-backed money. Everything feels solid, grounded, and stable. So naturally, humans being humans, we went, cool. Now let's make it really complicated and gamble on companies we don't even work at. And thus, the stock market was born. Now, the idea of investing isn't new. Even back in ancient Rome, people were investing in shipping expeditions, basically the early versions of Shark Tank, but with way more togas. But the modern stock market really kind of started back in 1602, before this whole gold thing, when the Dutch
I was always
East
curious
India
about that, like the
Company
stock
became
market and all that
first
stuff.
company in the world to issue shares to the public. That's right, the same country to give us windmills and wooden shoes also gave us capitalism. They sold pieces of their company to investors to raise money for expeditions. If
But
the
how
voyage
does
was
that
successful,
work?
investors got
Like y'all, I invest now, but I'm still not even 100% sure how it even works. But especially back in the day, you know what I'm saying? Because think about it now, right? You invest, let's say you just put money into Tesla, right? You're buying a portion of Tesla. So when Tesla's price goes up, you gain money as well. But back in the day, how did they know that? You know what I'm saying? Like back when they had their coins, how exactly, you know what I'm saying? How was your price going up? Was, you know, like, does it make sense? Like, how exactly did that work back then when you didn't have technology to that would, like, all these systems that would automatically run algorithms and just all that stuff? Like, I don't know. I always thought about that.
kind of the profit. And if the ship sank, well, there goes the investment. This idea exploded, and by the 1700s, stock exchanges popped up in London, Paris, and eventually Wall Street in New York. So how does it work? Basically, a company wants to raise money, and instead of taking out a loan, they go public and sell tiny pieces of the company as shares.
right.
People, like you and me, buy those shares, which now represent partial ownership, and if the company does well, the price goes up. But if it does bad, the price goes down. And the
Right.
best part is, you can sell this at any time. And all of the money that you put away for retirement, well, that's pretty much in stocks. And at this point, it's more like legalized gambling, but instead of betting on horses or cards, you're
Betting on
betting on
companies.
billion-dollar companies. What happens if your country goes to war and spends more than it had?
But back then when you had coins and you didn't have, like, computers to be doing all that stuff, how would, like, how would they fact check you? You know what I'm saying? Like, how would I be like, oh yeah, JT, you did give me 10 coins, but now it's worth 20 coins. Here you go. You know what I'm saying? Like, where, I wonder that, like, how does that work?
Or what if the economy crashes and the people want to take all of their cash out at the same time? Well, that happened, and that was called the Great Depression. In the stock market crash of 1929, people panicked, businesses failed, unemployment skyrocketed, and banks were folding faster than a cheap lawn chair. And the worst part is that banks didn't have insurance back then, so if they went under, your money disappeared. This collapse was so bad that it led to the US government creating the FDIC, which basically said, From now on, if your bank fails, we'll make sure you get your money back to a point, and then it's still a maybe. But it made people realize just how trust-based this whole money thing has become. But
Literally.
things are about to get way crazier. After a couple of world wars, a global depression, and way too many economic breakdowns, many countries started backing away from gold because they realized how bad it could potentially be. Because when everyone tries to take out their gold all at once and you don't have enough, well, that's not a good thing.
If you can't take a good picture, then you need this AI app. Just snap a photo, then the app perfectly.
So later on in 19...
But that's also, it's like, I don't know. I don't really know how the investment system worked back in the day. But, you know what I'm saying? If I had gold, I'm not putting it with no bank. You know what I'm saying? That's going to be with me. You know what I'm saying? To where I wouldn't have to go out and try to find gold off somebody. Like, I feel like if you were smart back then, you would keep that gold to you. You know what I'm saying? Unless he's like saying that you trade in your money for gold. But that, I don't get that either. Yeah.
1971, the US President Richard Nixon looked at the system and went, you know what? Let's just not do this anymore. He decided to unlink the US dollar from gold entirely. In that moment, it was the official beginning of fake fiat money. But what does fiat mean? No, it's not that awful car. Technically, fiat is a formalized authorization, proposition, or decree. AKA, the government was basically like, yeah, this is money because I said so. And since then, the US dollar went on to
Sound about
become the
right.
backbone of global finance. And the world just kind of shrugged and went, I guess we're doing the same. So at this point, your money is no longer worth an amount in gold. It's worth whatever the government tells you it is. And guess what? You just believe them because you have no other choice. But now
Right.
that money wasn't even real, since it wasn't tied to gold, how about if we let people buy things with money they didn't even have? Well, this
Credit
is where
card.
the first credit card comes in. But which was the first? Diners Club. It was basically, hey, you can pay
One thing y'all gotta know, when y'all turn 18 or whatever age y'all get your first credit card, only spend money you have unless absolutely necessary.
food now and regret it later. Then came Bank AmeriCard, which later became Visa, MasterCharge, now MasterCard.
Bank
and
AmeriCard
suddenly
was Visa?
everyone could buy things with money they didn't actually have. This was the birth of the I'll pay you Tuesday for a
Dude, I used to think Visa cards were so tough as a kid because I was like, whoa, I have a debit card. I'm actually a grown up. I was, you know what I'm saying? Like, have y'all ever just had that feeling? Like y'all was a kid, y'all didn't even have a job, and then y'all got a Visa card from like a family member on like a birthday or something, or like a Christmas, and then you just was able to spend it. It was probably like $25 on there. Bro, I used to love that.
Burger Today economy. The same economy that will not let you buy a house or anything
I'll probably do that
else
for my
unless
kids.
you use this
Whenever
fake
they
credit card
get money or do
But to
something
make matters
well,
worse,
I'll
if
give
you
them
don't
a
pay
Visa.
that money off in time, then you incur interest. So if you owe $100 and you don't pay it off in time,
'Cause you
now
can just add more
owe
money on it.
$120, which is insane. After this came debit cards, online banking, and mobile wallets, where we pretty much stopped using cash entirely, stopped going to banks, and we
Keep
started
my kids away from
trusting
cash.
machines with our life savings. Now you can tap a phone to buy coffee, you can transfer money with a thumbprint, and you can even split rent money with your roommates through an app while pretending to not be mad because they didn't pay you on time. Well, hold on a second, let's be honest. When you actually open your bank app, do you feel like that number represents real money? And is the money in your bank account actually there? Well, technically, the number you see
Yeah.
is a complete lie. Just when we thought we had it all
'Cause if I wanna
figured out,
spend it, I'm gonna
2008
spend
came
it.
in swinging like a wrecking ball, Miley Cyrus style, and exposed the entire financial system. You see, during the financial crisis, normal people finally realized that when you deposit money into a bank, the bank doesn't actually keep all of it. Nope. Thanks to something called fractional reserve banking, banks are only required to keep 10% of your money on hand. So if you give them $1,000, they're only keeping 100 and sending the other 900 out into the world like it's on a gap year backpacking through Europe. They'll loan it out, flip it, invest it, and do whatever makes the bank more money. But the problem is that if too many people try and pull their money out at the same time, the bank's just standing.
That's crazy though, because I never experienced that. I never experienced me having to take out money. I mean, obviously, because we're not in some time where money's scarce in the world. You know what I'm saying? I hope not. But I've never had to take out money and them being like, no. I think what this more is like, because mind you, I do everything online. Like I mean, obviously I go to a store, but I mean like credit card and a debit card. I do that stuff. I don't carry cash. So I wonder if he just means like if everybody at once goes to the bank and tries to pull out cash. That makes sense. Like no bank is gonna have enough money to pay out all the people that are banking with that bank. You know what I'm saying? Because that building is only so big. Like that makes sense. But it's like, man, that would suck. Y'all think that's why sometimes your car gets declined even though you have money? It's because your bank thinks it's fraud, but realistically they're just trying to find a way to get that money back? Yeah, I don't know.
They're like, so funny story, we don't have your money. That's basically what happened. The financial system cracked wide open, people got evicted, jobs disappeared, and suddenly the world realized our entire banking system is held together by hope, vibes, and a very fragile spreadsheet. 2009. The world is still recovering from a massive financial crash caused by big banks doing some really dumb stuff.
I was 2 years old right here.
Money. And some would say that we've still never really recovered. But out of the shadows came a mysterious figure named Satoshi Nakamoto, who could quite literally be anyone. A team, the CIA, your grandma, my mom, who knows? Satoshi says, what if our money wasn't controlled by a government, no bank, or a dude in a suit? And so, Bitcoin was born. It runs on a blockchain technology, and let me simplify that for all of you. Imagine you had a notebook that everyone in the world can see. Every time you bought, sold, traded, or did anything with money, it was going to be written into this book. But nobody could erase it. No one could change it. It is permanent. Just like that embarrassing thing you posted 5 years ago. Crypto and Bitcoin promises financial freedom, decentralization, and an end to the greedy middleman. But then, it turned into a casino. People started investing in coins like Shiba Inu, Pepe, and Trump coin. Yes,
y'all gotta be careful with all that stuff.
The United States
for real
actually launched a meme coin. Some made millions, and others lost their entire life savings faster than you could say rug pull. But love it or hate it, crypto showed one thing. People are ready to ditch traditional money even if they have no idea what they're jumping into. But it's kind of always been this way. Money is not gold, it's not paper, and it's not numbers in an app. Money is an illusion, a shared hallucination, a mutual agreement that this otherwise worthless thing can unlock tacos, plane tickets, and therapy that you can't afford because you're mentally unstable. But even if it is fake, as long as enough people believe in it, it works. But just don't be the one holding the bag when that belief finally runs out, because the consequences are very real. But if this blew your mind even just a little, consider hitting the subscribe button, because I'm going to explain even more ways how society low-key scams itself. But if you...
Alright y'all, that'll be the end of this video. Hey, when it comes to money, be careful. Spend what you have, don't spend what you don't have. That's not financial advice. That is just my JT's input. If you liked the video, comment down below what y'all want to see me do next. Like the video, subscribe, share the video to your friends and whoever. We on the grind right now. The grind ain't gonna stop. I'm never gonna stop again. We're gonna keep going until we get monetized. Road to 1K. Let's get it. I'll see you on the next video. Peace out.